Hi, I'm Stephen Boswell, the Chief Operating Officer at the Oechsli Institute.
And I'm Kevin Nichols, the Director of Coaching.
And thank you for your interest in our performance coaching program. Today, we're going to do a short video informally just to inform you on some of the components of our performance coaching program. There's a lot involved, and we want to take a minute to walk you through what exactly you'd be getting into.
Yeah, we're really excited about our performance coaching program. There's 6 main components that are included. We're going to walk you through each of these components today so you have a full understanding of everything that you get when you're a performance coaching client with the Oechsli Institute. First, obviously, is one-on-one coaching. That's a huge component, a personal relationship with your coach. 2, live events. We hold events twice a year. These are big events where we pull all coaching clients together, and these are full of best practice sharing and lots of different marketing and practice management ideas. Our Command Center, an online marketing app that you can use to track what you're doing with your coach. Webinars, materials, and also everything we do is based on research. We're going to talk a little bit about that research and how we go about conducting it today.
And if you know us, you know that we spend a lot of time thinking about and working on our coaching program.
Right.
If you were to take a step into our office, our studio, our conference room here at the Oechsli Institute, you would find us talking more likely than not about our research or about our coaching program.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that it is the best possible coaching program that we can offer to help our clients in their efforts to grow their business or run their business more efficiently. We deal with a wide variety of issues, but it's near and dear to us. So, all right, so let's dive into the one-on-one coaching component, Kevin. I think when you think coaching relationship, you think of having a coach. It's a big part of our program.
It's a huge part of our program, and we want to make sure we find the right coach on our team for you and your particular situation.
As you see a lot of the pictures here, they're people who have industry experience. They're good at what they do. They can coach.
Right.
However, we have to match up personality and make sure that what you're looking for, if you want help on teams, we've got certain coaches who are better with teams. If you want help on social media, we've got certain coaches who are more specialized in that. So there's a matchmaking process.
Yeah, absolutely. And plenty of these coaches also have been in your shoes. They've been in the industry for years and been very successful in the industry. And now they work exclusively with our organization in the financial advisory space.
Right. So another note here on all these coaches, these aren't just people we found on the web and slapped their pictures up there because they've done one engagement for us at some point.
Right.
And people do that. These are people who work within our organization to provide coaching for financial advisors, and we have trained the heck out of them. I mean, when they come on board, Kevin, we spend 2 months of training them on not only how to coach, but how to coach to our methodology, which, by the way, most of them knew before coming on board because they had either paid for us to do programs for their advisors when they were managers. We know these folks, but we keep them tightly tied to our research and our methodology. You're not going to get one of our coaches and be like, where do those ideas come from? That's like not linked to the books we've read or not linked to the symposium I attended. These are people on a monthly basis that we force feed ideas, and vice versa. They give us a lot of ideas. So,
yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of best practice sharing that goes on within this community of coaches right here. Now, how we go about getting started with you, so you hire one of our coaches and you're working with them, the first step of the process is our Elite Advisor Assessment. Our coaching program is not a cookie cutter program where you're going to work through modules 1 through 10, right? That's not what we do.
And Kevin, I got a call last week. We get them all the time from somebody who says, I need you to really spell out for me. What are we going to cover? I'm paying you guys a lot of money. What are we going to cover in every single session? And frankly, we don't have the answer for somebody like that. And I can understand the philosophy there. You want to know that you're going to get your money's worth and that we're going to go through certain things. But we've always found, and believe me, if we wanted to we could take a week and figure out 26 sessions worth of content. We do that kind of stuff all the time. But for coaching, we find it to be ineffective.
Right. What happens if session 8 and 9 just really aren't relevant to your business?
Yeah. So right now I'm in the midst of running an intimate client event campaign. We're really excited about it. The event's next week. Sorry, but we have on the agenda today, Kevin, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn branding.
Right.
It's a mismatch.
So what we want to do in the beginning is we do an assessment. It's called our Elite Advisor Assessment. We basically benchmark you against what we consider to be elite in the industry based on our research. And from there, we take that and we develop a personalized coaching plan. So based on what you want to focus on, we basically meet you where you are.
Yeah, and that's not to say that if you come in and you say, you know what, guys, I'm going to do jumping jacks. I'm going to jumping jack my way to success. We're going to say, maybe that's good for you, but it's not linked to your objectives of becoming an elite advisor.
Right.
We're going to give you some guidance. And I think that's a good distinction to make. We often talk about coaching, but when you were to look up the term coaching, it's more or less helping you stay accountable to the right actions week to week that you tell us you want to be accountable to. Well, I think some of that's important, but also ours is a blend of training and coaching.
Yes.
In that, week to week, you're going to hear from your coach about what's actually working for other people based on the research.
Based on the research. Yeah, exactly.
And they have specific insights on how to make that intimate event as good as it possibly could be, or how to cold prospect on LinkedIn, or any number of things that we're working on here. So you're going to get some guidance along with the accountability.
Yes. So we do that assessment. From there, we develop a performance coaching plan. And usually we focus on 3, 4, maybe 5 specific initiatives, again, pertinent to you and where you are right now that you need to focus on to achieve your goals. Then we drill that down to fixed daily, fixed weekly activities, and we start tracking those actions. So that's the process to getting started with you. And so when you have that first session with a personal coach, it's going through your Elite Advisor assessment results.
All right, let's dive into some of the specific coaching topics, Kevin.
Because there's a lot of topics. There's a lot of things we could be going through.
There are, and so many people come to us for help in marketing. They know us from Matt's book, Becoming a Rainmaker, or The Art of Selling to the Affluent, big hits in the financial services space. But that is, I don't know, Kevin, what did you say? 60% of the people who come to us end up focusing on marketing, and the other 40% are some combination of practice management or team formation or running a team.
Yeah, sometimes an advisor comes to us wanting to focus on marketing, but they don't have time to implement any kind of marketing activity, so we have to jump right to practice management. So we can do way more than just marketing.
Oh, absolutely. And so many of the things you see on this screen are central to your coaching experience. We don't want you to, if you were to come to us, we'd do you a disservice if all we taught you was LinkedIn cold prospecting, or all we taught you was the perfect intimate event technique. Because running an elite practice, you don't find an elite advisor who's at the top of his or her craft whose only skill set is in bringing in new business.
Right.
They treat their clients real well. They've got a digital presence. They know how to run a team like you'd run a small business. And there's a lot tied together here to really make you elite. Now, let's address how we get into this, Kevin. I mean, these live events are a big part of our coaching experience because we think, we're not part of some big corporate headquarters that tells us exactly how you have to run a coaching program. We literally sit around the drawing board, Kevin, myself, Matt Oechsli, and we think of what would our clients benefit from getting as part of a coaching program.
Yeah, and these live events are so important in terms of the coaching experience. It's bringing together all of our coaching clients, which have become this kind of community, and there's a lot of best practice sharing going on here. I mean, you're learning from your peers who are implementing our program at the same time, and that's fantastic.
It is, and people come to us often, the home offices of various firms out there, for help in structuring training programs. Mm-hmm. So we've seen plenty that are great, and we've seen some that are ineffective. And for us, the best programs combine an exciting and informative live event like this, with good producers who are there to share ideas and with great thought leaders to share content, and you match that with some accountability as follow-up. If you've got this event followed by personal coaching sessions, along with some of the other things we're going to share with you today as far as webinars and tutorials that are on demand, I mean, that is a powerful experience, and we feel like in its entirety, you've got plenty of ideas, you've got the kick in the pants you need to implement them.
Right.
And it's been special for us. I mean, that's been a winning formula for us.
Yeah, I mean, this event is not just full of ideas, it's also very motivational too. I mean, you're going to leave so excited to implement some of this stuff and right into your business immediately.
It's fun to see for us. Kevin and I have been to so many of these events, and you see people come in and they don't know quite what to expect, especially if it's their first time. They show up and people are a little bit anxious at the start of a conference like that. By midday, people are loosened up and asking a lot of questions, and they're getting excited. By the end of the program, these people are fired up to go back and put this stuff to work.
Yeah, at our latest event, an advisor came up to me right afterwards and just said, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you, I really appreciate you pushing me to come to this event because this is probably the best thing I've done in my practice, for my practice in a long time.
And we think
And
it's
that's always
beneficial.
a great feeling.
It is. And we think it's beneficial to kick off the experience, certainly to give you all the ideas in one format. But we think it's important to come back again and again. And that's why so much of our attendance of these things are repeat attendees.
Yeah.
Coaching clients who want to come back for a refresher. And every time they hear the message a little differently. And every time, by the way, we're updating the materials because we do so much research. So we know this is an effective venue. All right, Kevin, let's talk about the Rainmaker Command Center. This is a new application that we put together to help put structure around relationship management and relationship marketing. Now, part of the good part of some of the older tactics of cold calling, of direct mail, of seminars,
The real old school tactics.
they were measurable.
Yeah.
And it was easy to say, all right, Mr. or Mrs. Rookie, make this number of dials a day or knock on this number of doors, and you will be a corner office advisor at some point. Now, that was measurable, and that was good.
Yeah, it's more difficult to put structure around some of the relationship marketing and relationship management tactics that we recommend.
So people are thinking, yeah, we'll host an event every now and then, or I'll ask for an introduction sometimes when it seems natural.
Right.
Or I'll go on LinkedIn and do this activity every now and then. Where we're saying, treat them like the older activities in terms of how you measure it. So we built this system. There's an app and there's a website that help you stay on a regimented system for doing these activities.
And here's the beauty of this system too, is so you have this online marketing tool or that you're focused on with your coach, but your coach has access to your account as well, which makes for an extremely productive coaching session. It's not, you getting on the line with your coach and regurgitating everything you've done. The coach knows what you've done because you've been plugging it into the system. And then now they can dive into the details of what's working and what's not.
Right. 6-second opinions last week, Kevin. What happened? That was great.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of calls that we like to have because we know if you're taking action, linked to the research of what other people are doing to be successful, I don't care if this is in fitness or financial advice, you're gonna walk down that same path.
Yeah.
You're gonna get more fit or you're gonna bring in more business. It's not overly complicated, but we all have habits. And these habits, without some outside intervention sometimes, are hard to break.
Yeah, you want to get better at anything, you track it more.
One of the things, Kevin, forgive me for diverging from the topic for a moment. I was thinking about this on the way into work today of when is the right time to sign up for coaching? And we've often said, don't come to us unless you're ready to make some change because, frankly, we don't want coaching clients coming to us who are thinking about getting ready to
That's
make
right.
some changes to their business. We want you, hey, kind of fired up. Let's do some things differently. On the flip side of that coin, though, is how often have you heard, sticking with the exercise analogy, of somebody saying, I'm going to start working out next month, or that's my New Year's resolution.
I'll start on Monday. Monday
Yep.
morning.
Going
is
to
probably
that gym on Monday. You got it, Kevin.
Yeah.
And the best of intentions are lost. And so when's the best time? Hey, now. We'll push you into doing the right actions. Right. The Command Center is a part of that.
Coaching clients get access to all of our webinar series, and we're putting series together on LinkedIn. We're putting series together on Facebook for new advisors. And if you are a coaching client, you can join any of these series.
And here's what's been really popular lately is having your team members on these calls.
Yes.
I mean, how many of our attendees, Kevin, end up being the assistant of one of the advisors or another advisor on the team who wants to hear about LinkedIn or about Facebook or about being a new advisor and growing your business?
Yeah, I think that's such an important component. So we want to hit all other team members as well, and this is a great way for them to get some training.
And we think about with our coaching, Kevin, that we want your team to be involved at the right intervals. And some people would charge you extra for things like that. We want them to be involved.
Yes.
Not in every call necessarily. So if you come to me, Kevin, and I'm going to coach you on business development, I don't need your assistant on every single call because, frankly, sometimes I want to hit at the heart of the issue as to why you're not doing certain actions.
That's
better one-to-one sometimes.
It is.
But if we're talking about team commitment to hosting a fantastic intimate event or in working with accountants and attorneys, I want everybody on the line because he or she is going to reveal some ways that we can structure this for maximum effectiveness.
Yeah, so many of you right now, you've probably perused on our website and you've seen that we have some webinar series coming up. If you are a coaching client, you get full access to those series. Now, there are a lot of materials that come with personal coaching.
Our challenge sometimes, Kevin, is just not overwhelming you with materials.
Yeah.
Because we've had some of the engineer type clients and they mean well, but they think they've got to make it through this entire binder of things we send.
Right.
Read through the book, watch all of the exclusive videos that you get as being a coaching client before they begin coaching. And it's a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, there's a workbook that's over 160 pages long. Think of this more as more of a reference guide. It's included with coaching. Your coach is going to point you to the right pages, direct you, and really what's pertinent to you based on your assessment and based on what you're focused on with your coach.
Right. So, for example, you said that one of the initiatives we want to work on early on in our coaching is better communication amongst our team. They're going to point you to the section in that workbook where it talks about team meetings and team offsite retreats and individual performance reviews.
Same thing if you're focused on building relationships with CPAs. We have a lot of resources, and your coach is going to help direct you to the right location. You get access to all of our research reports. You know, we do a lot of research here at the Oechsli Institute. You get access to that. You get Matt Oechsli and Stephen Boswell's new book, Best Practices of Elite Advisors. I think that's really the backbone for the coaching program. And then also a lot of other exclusive ancillary content that we're putting out there on a regular basis.
And it's good for you and also for team members, Kevin. I mean, some of these materials I think are great to hand off and say, all right, this section on client loyalty team, everybody's reading it. These are the principles we are going to live by. And you're not overly having to explain this, being the messenger who carries the message. Here's the book, read it.
Love it.
Now, if you've seen one of our speeches, if you've read any of the books, you know that we're a research-based company. We don't come up with an idea that we think this marketing activity might kind of be effective if it was this or if it was that. No, it comes right out of the data from this year. What's working?
Right.
How are the affluent making decisions on how they hire advisors? What are the best teams doing in terms of activities for client acquisition, in terms of structure with their team, in terms of compensation, all these various issues. We do enough research that we can hit on finer topics than a lot of people, Kevin.
Yeah, and we're not biased here. I mean, we don't sell seminar packages, so we're saying, oh yeah, all of our advisors in our coaching program need to be doing seminars. We just coach to the research and what's working right now. When you take a look at elite versus overall here and marketing activities that they're engaged with, you'll see a lot of the things that we're going to recommend based on the research. Strategic networking, introductions, referral alliances, intimate client events, directly generated referral, indirectly generated referrals. I mean, that is from the research, and that's why we coach to those activities.
Now, Kevin, just to clarify for everybody out there, what I think our real value proposition is here as a company, there are two things. When we ask people who've seen us speak or engaged in our coaching, they like, number one, that we're based on research. But at the same time, I don't want the impression to be that when we go through this program, it's going to be a dry, okay, Kevin, here's what the numbers say.
Here's the newest research data.
You should be doing this and that. Okay, well, how, Kevin? Right. All right, I get it. Intimate events are effective. How do I do one that's going to bring in some business and not cost me an arm and a leg?
And we get into those finite details.
And that's the other piece.
Yep.
You know, we tell you what to say, how to say it. We role play scenarios. Your coach is an expert on this.
We're extremely tactical in our advice.
So that's why people come to us, research-based and tactical at the same time.
And here's some of our latest infographics based on some of the research we've done. And really the point here is to show you that we are constantly doing research on elite advisors, research on affluent consumers, affluent investors, millennials versus boomers, social media and advisors. I mean, we are so focused on this research because it is the core of our coaching.
You bet. And these are some of the deliverables. We could bore you to death with the graphs and charts and spreadsheets, but we like to put them in these fun deliverables so that if you said one of the initiatives for us this year is to get younger, go after the next generation of clients, that's a nice infographic you could pass around to the team, and there's some talking points on there. So,
without a doubt.
And lastly, because we know many of you are thinking about it, what kind of results does this coaching process get?
Yeah, and as a firm that is based on research, obviously we're good at research. We do it all the time. We research our clients as well to figure out who's having success and who isn't. And these are some of our average results for the past year.
And look at these numbers. They're impressive, Kevin, especially when you look at that compared to the industry averages of client acquisition and new households. And that's not even taking into account the practice management lift that we get with our clients.
That's true.
Impressive numbers, and we're very proud of those. But if you're watching this and you're considering the program, we're not promising those numbers to anybody, because we know you got to work for it.
Yeah, you're going to have to work. And it depends upon where you're coming in right now. I mean, if you haven't brought in any business over the past year and you're coming in expecting 20 million, well, those might be a little, high expectations, but maybe you're thinking 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, you think about this as a spectrum, Kevin. So you come into us and you've got already some marketing momentum and you want us to help you fine tune. You've already got relationships with accountants. You've got intimate events that are running. You've got a pipeline. We're going to help you close some of that business quickly.
Right.
If you come to us and you say, it's been 20 years since I've done any marketing, we've got some building blocks that will pay off for you. Yes. It's just not going to be today. Right. So we've got to make outreach to accountants. We've got to beef up your LinkedIn profile. We've got to teach you some techniques for sourcing names and asking for introductions. And that kind of stuff takes a little bit of time. My point being in all this, we get fantastic results, but it's built on your hard work and effort. We can't come there and ask for introductions for you. We can't come there and do your team meetings for you. So it's a give and take. You're going to get a coach who's not afraid to step on your toes and to ask you about these things. They're not going to do it for you, but you're going to have pressure every 2 weeks to perform certain actions that we know and you know are going to help you grow your business.
So again, thanks for showing an interest in our performance coaching program. We believe that it is the best performance coaching program in the financial services industry, and we look forward to helping you take your business to the next level.